Welcome to another episode where I share my journey of sending 2,000 cold emails this year. As of right now, I have a whopping 116 emails, which is the same as the last video. I am so behind on this, and by my calculations, I should have done 166.66 emails per month to make this goal. So I need to send another 219 by the end of the month. Dun, dun, dun. Before we go into the recap of this video, I wanted to share with you a message I got from somebody. Hannah, who goes by HannahXArt on Instagram, sent me a few messages and comments on my YouTube videos, just asking me questions. And so I've been, talking to her about it, and she got a freaking client. We have been talking a bit, so it's been good to see an artist win. Yay! And really, I feel like this was a win for myself too, because I feel like I actually helped somebody land something. Of course, the work is good too, and her work is good. It's definitely well deserved. So yay, big win for everybody. So let's do a recap of what happened after the last video. At the end of the last video, I got a reply from a brewery, which was so exciting. I went to visit their shop and was greeted by their lovely manager who showed me the space and the general vision of what they wanted to achieve. Now, I did a quick Google search to see photos of the place, and I couldn't really gauge what I was getting myself into. When the marketing manager showed me what they were thinking, I was gobsmacked. This was a ginormous warehouse, super freaking tall. They wanted the whole wall done with this funny curved bit at the top, their roller door, and they also wanted the laneway outside. You see how big this is? I'm so scared. I'm so scared. During this meeting, I was feeling a mixture of emotions. I was so excited because I had never gotten such a big job. And also I was freaking out because I've never gotten such a big job. After our meeting, I went home to freak out and then made a plan for the mood board and quote. One night I was feeling so sick about how I would attempt to paint this thing and how I was going to quote them. I stayed up until like 1 a.m. or something looking at quotes on like equipment to hire and properly calculating how I was going to quote this. I can't sleep right now because I am thinking about this potential mural project and I'm stressed out. So I'm gonna work on it a little bit so I can clear my head and then I can finally go to sleep. I made a spreadsheet that had all the walls, the measurements, and how much I was going to be charging per square meter for both a simple and complex option. I also had a section for my expenses and the profit by the end of the project. And it was crazy. Let's cut to it, shall we? This would probably be the biggest project of my life. Once I was confident with my quote and checked with my husband if he would be able to take a week off work for my inevitable panic attack, I sent the quote. Okay, gonna email them now. It's Saturday as well, so they won't see this till Monday, so I'll just be like, crying or something tomorrow. I won't cry. Who knows? Attaching, loading. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If they say no, they say no. Whatever. Right? Send. Message sent. If this does go through, this will be like the biggest project I will probably ever do in my life. Until I get the next biggest project I will ever do in my life. This job that I just quoted for is like 20 times more than the last job that I did. That's crazy. Okay, check back in a few days, I guess. And I didn't get it. They said it was way more expensive than what they had thought. And yeah, I guess that's it. I tried to get them to commission at least one wall, but I didn't hear back from them. So sorry for the anticlimactic story, but that's just how business works. Sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't, but I learned the very invaluable lesson of working out my budget with this spreadsheet. And I put in all these formulas to calculate everything. I'm seriously so impressed with myself that I'm using spreadsheets at all. So just remember, you can learn from everything. Stop everything. I have been pulling my hair out over this new information. Someone who watched my previous videos had let me know that in Australia it is actually illegal to send commercial electronic messages without first gaining consent. This includes DMs, guys. So I have set a couple of my videos to private for the time being. Maybe. While I have been reading through the legislation and a bunch of lawyers' blogs, and yeah, so it looks like this isn't allowed. While I've never had an issue doing this in the time that I've been doing this, I was just simply not aware that this piece of legislation existed. If you are an Australian and you want to study this alongside me, please pull up the Spam Act 2003 and we will go through it together and how we can work around this. Now, to put very simply, the Act has outlines and it says unsolicited commercial electronic messages must not be sent. That is literally the end of the sentence. Somebody's here. Hello. Tada.
So heavy, Mama.
You're the heavy one. I lifted you up. Commercial electronic messages must include information about the individual or organization who authorized the sending of the message. Commercial electronic messages must also contain a functional unsubscribe facility. When I read this, I interpreted it as do not send unsolicited commercial emails. However, if you do, you must state who you are and have an unsubscribe button. So first, we need to figure out how to obtain consent. Obviously, the legislation never says how to obtain, but you must obtain it through either express consent or inferred. Express consent is when a customer or a client checks a box agreeing to receiving emails or say, yeah, sure, send it through. Inferred consent is when a customer would reasonably expect emails. So I read this as if the business has written on their website something like, for business inquiries, email here or fill out this form. The lines feel very blurred on this though. The Act specifically states that inferred consent doesn't include the mere publication of an email on their website, unless you are directly emailing a specific person in the organization, such as an employee, a director or manager, or even the owner, because it is reasonable to assume that their email was published with their knowledge. So it has to be a conspicuous publication of that person's email. That's what it says. Or inferred by conduct, which isn't defined, obviously. So from now on, I will only be sending emails to businesses that has the name of somebody as the go-to contact, as it's safe to assume they are a manager or business owner or employee. This mommy's. Okay, you have one. You have one. You have one. And mommy has the rest, okay? I have a sticker. I will also be sending emails to businesses that explicitly state on their website for business inquiries, please contact blah blah blah, or fill out a form, etc. I'm also thinking about setting up an email newsletter or Substack for potential clients, but I don't know how that's going to go, to be honest. Second thing to address, must include information about the individual or organization. Obviously, you are going to tell them about yourself, so just be clear on who you are and what you do. Third thing to address, and this is where it gets a bit murky. Commercial electronic messages must contain a functional unsubscribe facility. So it uses the word facility and there's no definition within the Act as to what that is.
Mama, secret.
Let me For businesses using a service like MailChimp, there's obviously an unsubscribe function, as in a button, a link, whatever. And when you receive text, there's obviously a message to say stop or whatever like that. So as the Act states in section 18, a statement to the effect that the recipient may use an electronic address set out in the message to send an unsubscribed message to the individual or organization who authorized the sending of the first message or a statement to similar effect. As I'm usually sending cold emails one by one and there is no unsubscribe feature, I think I can just write in the email something along the lines of, if you do not wish to receive emails from me in the future, please let me know. I don't know. This part needs to be... This part needs to be clear and conspicuous, so I just would add it to the end of your sign-off maybe. So I think I have covered my butt by doing this, but it does mean that it will take me a lot more effort to get to 2,000 emails. And look, I've never had an issue with this before, never. People just don't reply if they don't want to talk to you, and that's your hint not to spam them. Honestly, I could have continued on but because I'm making these videos and sharing how to grow your business in other ways than social media, I just need to make sure I'm being compliant and following the law now that I know this piece of law exists. So please, if you are watching, please do the research and look up email and spam laws in your own country. Australia is a very stringent country and it is so hard to do business here. Okay, so how many emails do you think I sent after finding out about this information? Drum roll. Can you do drum roll, Ollie? Drum roll. Good it. A big fat zero. Can you say zero?
Zero.
Big fat zero.
Big zero.
I have contacted a law firm to confirm my thoughts. But if you're an Australian lawyer and you clicked on this video for some reason, please let me know if I'm doing this right. Okay, till the next video. Bye! Say bye!